everything is changing and you have to adjust accordingly. So that's like the big advice out of a lot of the stuff that we're going to be telling you guys.
And I think like adjusting to the new reality is something that I think, well, it's not just men. I mean, I think men and women do it, but for the men in particular, if a man can understand this, and it's like this: when you were a certain age, maybe when you were in your 20s or teens or whatever, maybe you could jump, touch the rim, dunk, or whatever. You just get
Mhm.
out on the court and start running, no warm up. You just jump out there and go do whatever. And sometimes time goes by and you in your mind you still think you're that guy. I went to the basketball court like recently, right? I'm no John Morant or whatever, but I could jump, at least a little bit,
Yeah.
right? And so I went and I was like, I'm about to go jump and just hang on the rim or whatever. And I got ready. My body literally said, "You can't do that no more." Like it just stopped. It's like I was like, man, sometimes you in your mind you're like, yeah, I got it, but and maybe I could have done it. Maybe I might have to do a video, make a video of me actually doing it to show.
Yeah.
Maybe I still can. I don't even know, but I literally, the governor in my body literally said, "Don't do that." That day has passed. So the point is that sometimes
Uh,
we might think like when we got married, some of us may have been married for 10 years, 20 years, and that's why depending on the age of when you're back on the market, so to speak, and then you're divorced or you're single, especially for those people who are single, you know, you might be thinking, the things that, worked or would work or will work, to court somebody, or those things that you had that were attractive, to the women who you were courting when you were single, the last time you were single might not work now. You might
yeah.
not be as fit as you were before. You might have a little bit of gray going on. You might you're older. You look like an older. So you might be looking at some of these women who are in a certain age range and they might be looking at you like my
Yep.
dad's age or whatever. Not to say that it's not possible, but you have to come to that realization of what your new reality is. You're on the market and you are, most likely going to be older, of course, if you got married for any
Yeah.
period of time going to be older. Now, you may be more financially capable, but if you have child support, alimony, these type of things, that financial mobility and fluidity that you had before might not be there. So
Yep.
your new reality may be you're operating as a man who's nearly broke. And that could break you. That could be a thing where that setback could lead you down if you start to think, if you don't understand the new reality that you're in and then navigate it accordingly. Some
Mhm.
people they get handicapped, and it's unfortunate. They get handicapped by the system. They get handicapped by child support, alimony, or whatever, and they instead of adjusting their lifestyle, they start to run up debts, credit. Start to uh not be forthcoming about their real financial situation. So then
Mhm.
maybe a woman who they were courting based on paper what they look like financially, they come to realize, well, yeah, he makes this much money, but 65% of his net income is going for alimony, child support, and lawyer fees or whatever it might be. And
Yep.
so this is something you have to understand. This is my new reality. And I have to be upfront about that. I first have to understand where I'm at and then navigate that accordingly. Some
Yep.
people, they come out and they are not this amazing soccer or football star that they were and fit and strong and everything. And now they may be, got type 2 diabetes and heart trouble and all these things. And they still are looking for, the girl who won the 100-meter dash last season,
Yeah.
who's in great shape and young and all that stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, 20 years ago, that was could have been a match for you. But if you did not maintain that type of, fitness or lifestyle or whatever, it's not likely. And if that's
Yep.
not likely, it's not even a negative. It's just the reality. So you have
Yep.
to realize where you're at. And that's the biggest step in understanding what you can do, knowing where you're
Yeah.
at and where you're starting new at. And so the people that struggle with that, I tend to see them continue to struggle. And until they get that under control, the success doesn't come.